The ceasefire is holding just barely. But quietly, the US military is weighing whether to send something to the Middle East that has never been deployed in combat before. It travels at 5 times the speed of sound. It hits in 15 minutes. It cannot be intercepted. It's called Dark Eagle, and Iran can't see it coming. Despite a ceasefire in place, the tensions between Iran and the US refuse to die down. In yet another major development, the US Army might be close to deploying one of its most lethal and secret weapons so far against Iran. According to a Bloomberg report, the US military is considering sending its long-range hypersonic missile Dark Eagle to the Middle East to possibly strike ballistic missile launchers embedded in Iran. The request, which was made by US Central Command, justifies the deployment of a hypersonic missile while arguing that the Iranian forces have moved their launchers out of range of the precision strike missile, which can hit targets more than 300 miles away. If given the green light, the move would mark the first time the US would have deployed a hypersonic missile, which has not yet been declared fully operational. Though no decision has been made public as yet, US President Donald Trump has repeatedly threatened to reignite the Iran war with renewed military action as talks towards a peace deal remain at an impasse.
We have the greatest military in the world, and I built much of it during my first term, and we've been building it since, and the greatest anywhere in the world, nobody even close. And you see that whether it's Venezuela, and they have a good military in Venezuela, but it was over in one day. It was actually over in about 48 minutes. Iran, the same thing. I mean, militarily, we've wiped them out. They have no military left. It's all the Navy's at the bottom of the sea. The Air Force is never going to fly again. We've got an amazing military. Now they have to cry uncle. That's all they have to do. Just say, we give up. We give up. But their economy is really in trouble. So it's a dead economy.
Coming back to the Dark Eagle, according to the Library of Congress, the hypersonic weapon has a reported range of 1,725 miles and is specifically made for long-range conventional precision strike capability against time-sensitive and heavily defended targets. Dark Eagle pairs a 2-stage solid-fuel booster with a common hypersonic glide body, a component shared across US Navy programs. The booster drives the glide body to speeds above Mach 5 before separation, after which the weapon maneuvers within the atmosphere across distances of between 2,700 and 3,500 kilometers, reaching its target in as little as 15 to 20 minutes. That atmospheric flight path is what sets it apart, making detection and interception considerably harder than with a conventional ballistic trajectory. The warhead itself is small, under 14 kilograms, but at hypersonic speeds, the impact generates energy equivalent to roughly 700 kilograms of TNT, concentrated into a narrow area with deep penetration and extreme pressure. Each missile reportedly costs around $15 million, and there are no more than 8 in the Pentagon's arsenal. Each battery will also cost roughly $2.7 billion. 2 of the biggest adversaries for the US, Russia, and China have already deployed hypersonic weapons. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy has warned of a new phase of confrontation with the United States, signaling the potential deployment of what it calls surprise tactics in response to any future escalation. Speaking on April 28th in Minab, IRGC Deputy Commander for Political Affairs, Mohammad Akbarzadeh, issued a direct warning following the latest round of US-Israel military operations against Iran.
In the event of any fresh military action by the United States against Iran, the IRGC Navy will deploy its new capabilities. Dealing with such an act of aggression, the Navy would employ its new cards, including in the field of smart targeting. and would set the massive vessels of the criminal regime ablaze with its fury and take them out of operation. The Islamic Republic would also utilize its other instruments of power across other resistance fronts.
Akbarzadeh's warning comes amid assessments that Iran retains significant military capability despite weeks of conflict with the US and Israel. According to CBS News reporting on April 22nd, citing US officials, roughly half of Iran's ballistic missile stockpile and about 60% of the IRGC's naval assets, including fast attack craft, remained intact at the start of the ceasefire declared on April 7th. Senior Iranian officials have also reinforced the message of latent capability. IRGC advisor Mohammad Reza Naqvi said,
Any resumption of aggression would be met with strikes using systems produced in January 2026. Iran possesses advanced missile and drone capabilities that are ready for deployment in response to continued U.S. aggression against Iran.
Naqvi further claimed that Tehran retains untapped leverage, describing it as winning cards yet to be used. He also pushed back against claims of Iran's degraded naval capacity.
If the enemies have eliminated it, why are they unable to open the Strait of Hormuz?
At the political level, Deputy Minister of Defense of Iran, Reza Tlaei-Nik, escalated the rhetoric during a visit to Bishkek for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting.
The United States is no longer in a position to dictate its policies to independent nations. This has been revealed to the entire world through the endurance of the Iranian people and armed forces. The U.S. will eventually accept that it must abandon its illegal and irrational demands.
Tlaei-Nik also accused Washington and Israel of systemic violence.
The United States and Israel's shameless crimes in the massacre of innocents, especially the children and students of the Mach school, have destroyed the credibility of the Western world regarding the values they claim to uphold.
Meanwhile, according to a Wall Street Journal report published April 28th, US President Donald Trump has instructed aides to prepare for an extended blockade strategy targeting Iran's economy and oil exports, viewing it as a lower-risk alternative to renewed direct military strikes. Even as a ceasefire holds between the United States and Iran, the Pentagon is quietly preparing for the possibility that it does not. According to CNN, US military planners are developing strike options targeting Iran's defenses around the Strait of Hormuz, with a particular focus on the small fast attack boats, mine-laying vessels, and coastal assets Tehran has used to effectively shut down one of the world's most critical shipping lanes. The planning comes as the strait remains largely closed to international tanker traffic, a situation that has rattled global markets and complicated US President Donald Trump's domestic economic agenda. Iran closed the waterway in response to the opening of US-Israeli strikes on February 28th, and ships have largely refused to transit it since. But reopening it through military force alone may not be straightforward. One source familiar with the planning put the dilemma plainly.
Unless you can unequivocally prove that 100% of Iran's military capability is destroyed, it will come down to how badly Trump is willing to accept the risk and start pushing ships through the Strait of Hormuz.
CNN has previously reported that according to US intelligence assessments, roughly half of Iran's missile launchers and thousands of one-way attack drones survived the initial bombing campaign. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth acknowledged last week that Iran had moved some of its remaining assets to new locations during the ceasefire period. Beyond the Strait of Hormuz, planners are also weighing strikes on energy infrastructure to pressure Tehran toward negotiations, as well as targeted operations against specific Iranian military figures believed to be obstructing a diplomatic agreement. Among those named is Ahmad Vahidi, Commander-in-Chief of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The Pentagon declined to confirm the specifics.
Due to Operation Security, we do not discuss future or hypothetical movements. The US military continues to provide the president options, and all options remain on the table.
Trump has said he would prefer a diplomatic resolution and has extended the ceasefire, though sources say that extension is not indefinite. The US currently has 19 ships in the Middle East, including 2 aircraft carriers, and has redirected at least 33 vessels since enforcing a naval blockade of Iranian ports beginning April 13th.